Mindy Flanigan there. So, Coach, we're ready going into the season. Are there glaring places like, man, we really got to work on this? And how do you get that taken care of as you get closer to the season?
Well, we don't want her exposing homework.
You know what? Ladies
okay.
and gentlemen, I was in the Army, and
I'm all for transparency, man, but I want them to win.
Okay. So, Coach, if it was another team out there, how do we go about? Okay, I guess I can't do that one.
No.
No, it's okay.
Right.
I can answer it. I can answer it. I think it's a great question. I think, you know, as you talk about building towards success, we took the film from this weekend in our first scrimmage, and we wanted to get really detailed on what are two areas that we want to see get better. So we talked about that with the team. We were really transparent to start practice today. And hey, we had two focal points, one on offense, like, hey, we want to make our decisions quicker, right? Can we make decisions quicker and get and still get good shots without turning the ball over? And then defensively, we talk about, you know, being able to dictate not letting teams into the paint. Right. So we wanted to get really laser focused. And then every day in practice, we're going to do drills so that we can really evaluate our progress. Instead of having this big thing, we took what we thought were two of the most important things that we learned from scrimmaging this weekend.
So does that mean they watch film with you? And like you get their buy-in and early on agreement of things that need to be worked on, so you're not dictating, they're actually participatory?
Yeah, and so we do film really differently. I've been lucky enough to work with a performance consultant, and one of the things that we talk about is, you know, generally when you do film, the coach stands up front and the clips are going, and you
That's
try
the
to
way they show it in the movie.
Yeah, and it feels a lot like I'm the old professor. And so what we want is our team to have a lot of ownership in it. So what we do is we take those clips, we put them on 4 different computers. We break the team up into 4 small groups. And we have performance goals for every game that we think are the most important things for us to play well. And so we look at those clips just from those performance goals. So every small group might have a starter, might have a player coming off the bench, might have someone that didn't get a lot of playing time. And they talk about our strengths and our areas of growth from the clips. And then we come all back in together. Every group puts it up on the board. And then we watch the clips together. And we're really trying to work on everyone's voice and ownership in it. And that we always say, win, lose, and learn. That's always what takes place for us after every scrimmage, every game.
See, seat at the table.
That's right, seat at the table. All right, this is Mike, Mindy, Coach OB here, ESPN Richard 106.1. You can catch the show every Friday, 6:30 a.m. That's where we are, talking to Coach about all things VCU women's basketball. So, I talk to other coaches, and I always wondered, like, the timeout situation. So how do you determine your style? So some coaches, all right, the coaches get together, and then first they huddle up, and then they go over. How do you determine that, like, what goes on during that timeout?
Yeah, like I talked about, we do performance goals. So we have really 3 specific things that we are statting every time we play. And so our young graduate assistants come up to me and they're going to give me the stats before I even go into the timeout. So how many turnovers did we have? So this last weekend, our goals were about turnovers. They were about limiting the other team to no offensive rebounds. Or really low offensive rebounds, and then keeping the team out of the paint, right? So those 3 numbers, they come in, they give them to me. I talk to our staff about what are we doing well on offense? What do we want to continue to run? What are we doing well on defense? And then we bring, you know, really specific into that timeout. I start and say, hey, first of all, you're doing a great job taking care of the ball. We only had, you know, 1 turnover. Or, hey, excellent job on the boards. You know, they had, you know, no offensive rebounds for that segment. But we've got to get better at not letting them into the paint, right? So that they know where we are when we're looking at those 3 things. So I try to keep it as detailed as we can. And then we come out, we make sure everybody's on the same page. okay, hey, this is what our defense is, this is what we're running, so that we really go out and execute. So, and then when the players leave the timeout, my assistant coaches make sure, and we know some players sometimes need a reminder again of what we're in, and they grab certain players and make sure that they're all on the same page. I think having that clear, concise, communication is really important when you're in pressure situations, and with only a certain amount of time.
Coach, that's an awful lot for about 90 seconds.
It goes pretty quick, Mike. It goes pretty quick.
You know, it does. And
Well,
you
but
could,
she has the underlying systems and processes already in her head to know how this is supposed to run. That's how you make the most of the 90 seconds.
that's it.
TV
because we
timeouts are
see it.
like 2 hours. I feel like TV timeouts are